Girls Primary Weighted Assessment 2 for 2025. For this paper, you can use a calculator. Question 1. The table shows the number of ovens sold from April to June. Find the ratio of the number of ovens sold in April to the number of ovens sold in May. Give your answer in the simplest form. Okay, so we have April to May. For April is 32, May is 48. Then you just need to simplify this. With a calculator, you can use as a fraction, you can express as a fraction 32 over 48. That will give you, and then you enter, that will give you the simplest form. Okay, and you should get 2 to 3. 2 over 3. So when you write it as a ratio, it's 2 to 3. Okay, so that's the answer for part A. Now for part B, express the number of ovens sold in June as a fraction of the total number of ovens sold. Simplest form. Okay, so in June, how many do we have? We have 28. Then out of the total, so let's find the total. 32, 48, 28. 32, 48, 28 will give us 108. Then you want a fraction of June out of the total. So June is 28 over 108. Again, you have to simplify. Key into your calculator, 28 over 108, enter, and you'll get 7 over 27. Question 2, find the perimeter of the quarter circle if of radius 42 cm. Now, if the radius is 42, we would have this. Okay, we need to find the arc. To find the perimeter of the quarter circle means you need to find a quarter of the circumference of the circle, okay, in order to get the quarter circle arc. Okay, and the formula that we should be using is pi times diameter. This is the circumference of the full circle. So let's find diameter first. So the diameter is 42 times 2, which is 84. Okay, 84 cm. Now the arc is 1/4 of a full circle. So 1/4 times the formula, which is pi times diameter. Pi is 22 over 7. Diameter is 84. Then calculate. In your calculator, you get 66. So the total perimeter would be 66 plus 42 plus 42, which is 150. Now, common error for this is that students may just find the arc and then forget to add the straight lines. Question 3, 85% of the audience at a concert were children and the rest were adults. There were 136 children. How many people were there? Okay, if 136 is the number of children, that would be 85%. So 85% of your total is 136. Then we find 1% of the total before we find the total number of people, which is 100% of the total. To find 1%, it's 136 divided by 85, which is 1.6. To find 100%, it's 1.6 times 100. So 160 is the answer. Okay, question 4. The number of books in the class library decreased from 90 to 72 what was the percentage decrease in the number of books in the class library? Okay, so our percentage decrease, the formula you should be using is decrease over original times 100%. So there are two things we need. One is the decrease, one is the original number. So let's find the decrease. It decreased from 90 to 72. So 90 minus 72, which is 18. Now, when we use the formula, the decrease is 18. The original is 90 because it decreased from 90. So original is 90. Then times 100%. This will be 20%. So there is a 20% decrease in the number of books in the library. All right, now for question 5, right, there is missing info in the question. So the question cannot be solved. Okay, there's missing info in the question, it cannot be solved. So let me just explain why it can't be solved. Each side is 4 cm, so we have 4 here. Okay, so if let's say I highlight all the sides that we have for the 4 cm, okay, so we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so you have 11 times 4, which is 44. That's the one in yellow. Now, what are we missing? We're missing this part here. Sorry, did I miss out one more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, it should be 12. So 48 will be all those in yellow. Then we have the missing lines, which is this and this, the two blue ones. Then we also have this part here and this part here. Okay, so these two blue lines do not make up one side. Okay, so this is the same as this part here because the overlapping of this one side and this one side of the square is the same. Okay, the overlapping part is the same. So I know that this is equal to this. Same for this pink one. This is equal to this. Okay, they don't add up to one side of the square, but they are equal because the overlapping parts of two squares is the same for them. So this and this will be the same. The sides that are jutting out would be the same for both because the overlapping is the same. So now the problem is that we don't know how much they overlap, so it is impossible to find how much this is sticking out by. Okay, what information we need is probably like either one side of this, one of the blue one, or how much they are overlapping by. Same for this, I don't know how much they're overlapping by, so I'm not able to tell how much is jutting out. Okay, that's missing information, might have been removed when it was scanned. So this question cannot be solved just based on whatever is given here. Okay, then question 6. There are pink, blue, and white ribbons in the back. There are twice as many pink ribbons as blue ribbons. The number of pink ribbons is 6/7 the number of white ribbons. What is the ratio of blue to white ribbons? Okay, so we have twice as many pink as blue. So we'll use ratio pink to blue 2 to 1 because pink is twice. And then the number of pink to white Pink is 6, 7 is the back, so 7 is white. 6 to 7. Then here we have two ratios. We need to find common base. So the only thing that's common between these two ratios would be the number of pink ribbons. We have two units here for the pink and 6 units here for the pink. Since they represent the same thing, they should have the same number of units. So I will change this 2 into 6. So we multiply by 3. Okay, so my pink, my common base is the same now. Question is asking for ratio of blue to white. So blue to white will be 3 to 7. Next, Jamie deposited a sum of money into a savings account at the beginning of the year. The interest was 2% per year. She received $112 interest after 1 year. How much did Jamie deposit into the savings account? Okay, so for this type of question, right, where it involves interest, students may get confused over how many percent is what. Like interest, without interest, with interest, is it before, is it after? Is it the original amount, or does it include interest? Okay, so firstly, whatever is deposited at first is always 100%. Okay, interest 2% per year. So after 1 year, it becomes 102% in total. Okay, so your original plus interest at the end of the year. That's what she would have. Now, she received this much of interest after 1 year. So your interest 2%, right? Interest was 2%. And then she received $112 interest after 1 year. This means that 2% of the money is did I say $112? Okay, so we would find 1%. How much did Jamie deposit? So what she deposited into the savings account would be the original amount, which means that this is 100%. Okay, so I will find 100%. 1% first, then after that 100%. 1% would be 112 divided by 2, which is 56. Then to find 100%, 56 times 100. So 5600. Okay, so the original amount that she deposited is $5,600. All right, question 8. Harus had some blue and yellow ribbons in a ratio 5 to 9. He threw away 6 yellow balloons. Sorry, balloons. Did I say ribbons? Harus had some blue and yellow balloons in a ratio 5 to 9. He threw away 6 yellow balloons which had burst. Then he bought 6 blue balloons. In the end, the number of blue and yellow was in a ratio 3 to 4. How many balloons did he have altogether? Okay, so I'll do a before change after. At first my ratio for blue to yellow is 5 to 9. Okay, then there is a change for blue and yellow. 6 yellow balloons burst. He bought 6 blue balloons. So blue, yellow. Blue will be plus 6, yellow will be minus 6. In the end, the ratio, blue to yellow, 3 to 4. Now, if you look at this part here, what happens is that you add 6, you minus 6, right? So what doesn't change? The total remains the same. Because if you add 6, you remove 6, it will still be the same total, right? So here, I will introduce a total into the ratio. Okay, so 5 to 9 total 14 units. 3 to 4 total 7 units. So since they represent the same thing, that's your common base, you have to make them the same. So 7 becomes 14 times 2 to become 14. Okay, 6, this is 8. All right, so now we figure out what is 6. So let's look at the blue. Blue from 5 units becomes 6 units. So there is an increase of 1 unit. And that 1 unit would be the 6 here that he bought. How many balloons did he have altogether? Your total is 14 units. Now, is it before or after? It doesn't matter because the change is plus 6 and minus 6. Your total is still the same, 14 units. So 14 times 6. Answer 84. Question 9. Some adults and children visited the safari over 2 days. The ratio of number of adults to children on day 1 was 5 to 3. Ratio of adults to children on day 2 was 3 to 1. There were 4 times as many visitors on day 1 as on day 2. Total number of visitors on both days was more than 1755. So what's the smallest possible number of children on day 2? Okay, let's write down the ratios first. Ratio for day 1, 5 to 3. Adults to children. Okay, so day 1, adults to children, 5 to 3. For day 2, adults to children, 3 to 1. Okay, so now, and then they said total number of visitors on, there were 4 times as many visitors on day 1 as on day 2. So your total here is supposed to be 4 times of this. So let's find the total. So this is 8 and this is 4. Okay, for day 1 to be 4 times of day 2, right? If day 2 is 4, then 4 times of that will be 16. So for day 1, to make it 16, I will times 2. Okay, so 10 to 6. 16. So let me just make a note here. This has to be 4 times of day 2. Now from here, total number of visitors over both days was more than 1755. So total number of visitors for both days is 16 plus 4 units. So 16 units plus 4 units, which is 20 units. This 20 units has to be more than 1755. So let's take, okay, if let's say 20 units is 1755, right? Then let's find out what is 1 unit. Like we just take 20 units as 1755. But it cannot be 1755. It has to be more than 1755. So we take 1755 divide by 20. You get 87.75. Okay, so note here at the side, 20 units must be more than 1755. So when we divide it by 20, it means that your 1 unit So after you divide, right, then what we can say, 1 unit must be more than 87.75. So if 1 unit has to be more than 87.75, and 1 unit must be a whole number because this 1 unit is the number of children, right? Number of children cannot have decimal. So 1 unit must also be a whole number. So 1 unit would be 88. Okay? So a whole number that is bigger than 87.75 would be 88. And this is your 1 unit, right? 1 unit, which is this one. Okay? So what is the smallest possible number of children on day 2? 1 unit. So 1 unit. 1 unit, 88. Okay, question 10. Mr. Lee sold 6 more cars in 2018 than 2017. This was an increase of 20% compared to 2017. How many cars did Mr. Lee sell in 2017? Now, this is talking about percentage increase. You need to know which one is the original. So if they're talking about an increase of 20% compared to 2017, means that 2017 is the original amount. I mean the original year where you take the amount from. And this would be 100%. Okay, whatever value that is in 2017 would be the 100%. So 2018, right, there's an increase of 20%. So that increase of 20% is this 6. So 20% of 2017 is 6. Because 2017 is 100, right? So 20% of that is the increase, which is 6. How many cars did he sell in 2017? Now we want to find 100%. So here times 5. Part B, Mr. Lee sold 25% less cars in 2019 compared to 2018. How many cars did he sell in 2019? Okay, compared to 2018, so this is your 100% now. Now, so as you notice, right, whenever we change years, change comparison, right, you need to reset. You need to find what's your 100 first. Okay, earlier on, 2018 would be 120%. But now in part B, 2018 is 100%, not 120. So, okay, I just write the side. So 2018 is 100%. 2019, you have 25% less cars. So that is 75%. So how many cars did he sell in 2019? Do we have 2018? 2018 is 6 more than 2017. So 2018, number of cars. So in 2018, which is 2017, 30, 2017 plus 6. Which is 36. Now that is your 100%. Okay, so 36 is your 100%. You want to find 2019, you should be finding 75%. So I will take 36, divide by 100 to get 1%, then times 75, which is 27. Okay, so how many cars did you sell? Answer 27 cars. If you want to do the unitary method, right, also can. It would look something like that. So 100% would be 36. Then you find 1%, then you find 75%. Okay, this is your unitary method, also can. Or the other way is you want to find 75% of 2018, right? So you can also do 75 over 100 times 36. Also get 27. Question 11, figure is made up of 4 semicircles and a rectangle inside a square of side 54 cm. What is the radius of each semicircle? Okay, so this is 54. And radius 54 is made up of 2 of the diameters. So one diameter would be 54 divided by 2, which is 27. Then radius would be half of that. So 27 divided by 2, 13.5. Total area of the shaded parts. Okay, so to find the total area of the shaded part, right, what we would do is we'll find the 4 semicircles. 4 semicircles combined to give you 2 full circles. Then after that, we will find the area of the rectangle and add them up. Okay, so 4 semicircles, which is your 2 full circles. So 4 semicircles equals to 2 full circles. So 2 area of 2 full circle would be 2 times pi times r times r. 2 because there are two circles. Okay, then pi is 3.14 times radius from part A times radius. So this would be 1144.53. Next, I want to find the rectangle here. So this rectangle is 54 minus 2 radiuses. So 54 minus 13.5 minus 13.5. 54 minus 13.5 minus 13.5. This would give us 27. Okay, so area of the rectangle in the middle is 27 times 54. So area of rectangle, 27 times 8, 54. One, 4, 5, 8. Now we have the rectangle, we have the 4 semicircles. We add them up to get the answer. So rectangle is 1458, then plus 1144.53. Answer 2602.53. Two six zero two point five three square cm. Okay, next question. Question 12, which is the last question. Figure is formed by two semicircles and two small semicircles and four big semicircles. Diameter of the big semicircle is twice of the small semicircle. Okay, so what is the diameter of the big semicircle? Okay, for this question, right, on top and below, you need to compare them in order to help you find the diameters. On top, what do you have? Below, what do you have? So we have two semicircles and 8 and 4 and 10. Okay, so for the top, we have two big radiuses plus 8, 4, and 10, which will give us two diameters of the big semicircles plus 22. Then bottom, we have two big plus two small, two big, two small plus 8, 3 and 5. 8 is the top. So your semicircle, it cannot really see. Right? So we have already included the 8 because here, just looking at the bottom one, so diameter of the big one, 3, diameter of the small one, diameter of the small one, 5, diameter of the big one. Okay, so 2 big, 2 small plus 3 plus 5, which is 2 big plus 2 small plus 8. So when we compare these two, this one and this one, they are supposed to be equal. So 22 is actually the same as 2 small plus 8. 2 small. Okay, if I want to find 2 small, diameter of 2 small, it would be 22 minus 8. Okay, because this 22, if I compare these two, this 22 is the same as 2 small plus 8. 22 is the same as 2 small plus 8. So 2 small is actually 22 minus 8, which is 14. Diameter of 2 small semicircle is, okay, the big one is twice of the small one. So if you got 2 of the small one, this is basically 1 time of the diameter of the big one. Okay, so this is the diameter of 1 big, which is what we want, 14 cm. See the big diameter of the big semicircle. Okay, then for B, use the calculator value of pi to find the perimeter of the figure. Round your answer to 1 dp. Okay, so diameter of the big one is 14. What's the diameter of the small one? Because if you want to find the arcs, you need diameter. So diameter of one small will be 14 divided by 2. Then if you want to find the arcs of the two small semicircle, which is here and here, arc of two small semi. Okay, if the question says use the calculator value of pi, right, we're gonna use you just write it in terms of pi first. Only in the final step, then we use the calculator value of pi. Okay, so 2 semicircle is 1 full circle, so you just take pi times diameter. So this will give us 7 pi. That's the two pink ones. Then we also have the arc of the bigger semicircles, right? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the arc of 4 big semicircles. 4 big semicircles is the same as 2 full circles. 2 full circles. So you should be using 2 times pi times diameter, which is 14. Okay, so the blue ones, okay, let me just color it. The blue ones, right, would be 28 pi, and the pink ones would be 7 pi. Now total, you need to add them up. All the red, pink and blue plus 8, 3, 8, 5, 10. The straight lines, they are also part of the perimeter. 8, 3, 4, 5, 10. 8, 3, 4, 5, 10. Okay, so 8, 3, 4, 5, 10. And add the pink one and the blue one. So for the numbers is 30. For your pi is 35 pi. 140. 140.0. Okay, this is the perimeter. So answer 140.0 cm. Okay, sorry, take note for here. This should be an approximation sign because we are rounding, right? All right, with that, that's all for the exam paper for today. Okay, what paper is this? Raffles Girls 2025 with the assessment 2. Okay.